So what was the transition from like sports and, because I mean, you went to school for understanding the brain, right? Not just psychology, but what's the actual term?
Cognitive behavioral neuroscience.
Yeah. So like basically understanding human psychology and behavior, right?
Yeah.
So what
and
was
how it correlates to the brain, but yeah.
Yeah. So what was kind of I guess the jumping off point, right? Out of school. What did that look like after you graduated?
Well, I was in heavy biological sciences, which was amazing. But at the end of school, at the end of my time at Simpson, I had, there's this entrepreneurship class or like group, I guess you could call it, that they had just started up. Yeah. And I was just like, what is this? This seems cool. And I was like involved in a bunch of different stuff, but this entrepreneurship stuff was the coolest. And then I was a very different pre-med science student than most other people in studying that. As far as like personality and ability to go talk to people and stuff.
Because like they're all nerds and you're a basketball player?
Kind of. I mean, but just social. Like I very much wanted to connect with other people. Like when I test my extroversion on like the Big Five personality, I'm in the 99.99999 percentile on extroversion and gregariousness. And most other people are not. And I've just always, I was in middle school when I started knocking on doors, selling roofs with my buddies. His dad owned a roofing company and we would just go knock doors and shit. And
in 8th grade?
Yeah, dude, as kids, like, and it worked so well because we would just get like through all of the initial barrier of like, someone's knocking on my door. But when it's a kid, it's like easier.
Yeah.
And we get up on the roof and stuff, and then his dad would come and actually sell, like harder core selling, like the paperwork and all the stuff.
Yeah.
We would just kind of, we were really more appointment setters.
Yeah, you got past the gatekeepers.
Pretty much. And so I just got used to knocking on doors, talking to strangers, and it stuck with me. And so in college, it was very much that way. And so my professors noticed that about me as well. And my advisor's like, dude, you need to get out there and like go do some stuff with people. Like apply neuroscience and apply psychology and the stuff you're learning to people.
Yeah.
So I started a company called, like an organizational psychology company called Sandler. And
wait, you started it or you did the Sandler training, the sales training?
I was worked in a franchise, so I delivered the training.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So business owner.
Yeah, well, I was underneath a franchise owner.
Gotcha.
His name's Steve Montague. Freaking love that guy. Still meet with him today. Cool. But we started there, and kind of the vision was that I would work there for a little bit and then take over from him. And so that's what I started with, like sales training, like leadership training, like customer service, those types of management training, and really teaching humans how to interact with other humans more effectively.
Yeah. Which is needed in today's day and age.
100%. 100%. One of the coolest things about Sandler though is as a methodology and why I love it, and I still use it today, and it's helped me so freaking much to have just a methodology for sales. I wish I had it when I was knocking doors in 8th grade. I mean, I could have been selling way more, but they have this concept of IR, like identity versus role, and I was always super interested in that concept, where a lot of salespeople, business owners, managers, whatever, they get really caught up in the role. And so when they get a no or they get rejected, they take it as if, oh, I am fundamentally unworthy or not good enough or rejected.
So just real quick before you dive in, for anybody listening, can you define role versus identity? Yeah,
so role is literally the role, a salesperson, a manager, a leader, title, if you will, the costume that you put on. And then your identity is really more about like your fundamental like worth as a human and how your self-esteem and your confidence and how you view yourself.
Your value.
And right, exactly. Yeah. And Sandler was one of I've never had another sales method, and I've looked at like every single sales methodology you could think of and learned and studied them. And Sandler's the only one that I've seen that separates, that does a lot of psychology, because it was started by a psychologist.
And really? He was a psychologist?
Sandler himself was not, but he partnered with a psychologist, yes. And I'm just like, dude, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it was so helpful for salespeople, because there were people that would come in and they're doing all the stuff right, but they're not getting the sales that they want. And Sandler was the first time that I saw Steve. He started asking people about their I side. How do you view yourself? Do you feel worthy of this sale? Like, do you feel like you deserve success? Do you feel like, and I was just like, what kind of question is being asked? But the moment we started working on that with people, their performance in their role skyrocketed. And so there were so many people that would come to us and like, he used to be selling a ton, but then he went through a divorce and he just changed. And it's like, And it just made a lot of sense to us because Steve has a science background as well, like a psychology background as well. And I started to see that and I was like, holy shit, like this identity side stuff is really powerful. And that's kind of how I got from like out of college into doing that kind of work with people, which was sales and business training, communication training. But then it just opened this whole different world as far as like how powerful our identities are and like how we fundamentally view ourselves as humans and people. And it's just really interesting. So that's how I started.
Well, man, I mean, I tell all my clients, right? It's like, at the end of the day, marketing is just salesmanship multiplied, right? But what is salesmanship? Salesmanship is just human psychology at the end of the day, right? Because it's not B2B or B2C, like it's H to H, it's human to human. So if you can understand how humans work, which, I mean, we've only been around for, tens of thousands of years, right? Then it kind of all becomes easier. It's funny too. I tell everybody, I'm like, so I have a 3.5-year-old daughter.
Hey, cool.
And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do 2 things with her. First, I'm going to bully her. So that by the time she actually gets into elementary school or high school, she's like, dude, you ain't nothing, kid. Jokingly, of course. I mean, I'm not going to give her, problems about her identity down the road. But, if she likes having her shoes a certain way, I might just go and kick them and mess them up. So, it's not just easy and given to her.
About to have CPS on your ass, dude.
But the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make her door knock.
Yes.
Because not just inside sales cold calling, but actually going door to door. Because there is something about, I mean, dude, if you were an 8th grader, you're probably getting bloody knuckles.
Dude, 100%.
From knocking doors, right?
Fucking loved it. We used to do kick with your foot, like 100, like there's all sorts of different stuff that you could do, ring doorbells, like.
But I think personally, this is just my view, I think you can know more about people or sales knocking and talking to 100 people, not just knocking 100 doors, but it might take you 10 doors to get one person at the door. I think if you knock 100 doors, you can learn way more than any book, any class would be able to teach you in that short amount of time because you're able to get the feedback loop so fast.
100%.
So those are the 2 things I'm going to do with my daughter. I'm going to bully her and I'm going to make her knock doors.
Bro, me and my best friend Chris, like I talk about all the time how it fundamentally changed our entire lives to be able to do that. It's just such a superpower.
Yeah.
To be able to go, and you're right, it teaches you, we learn how to walk by acting, assessing, adjusting. Act, assess, adjust. Act, assess, adjust. It's how our brains work. And then we forget. And we just start to think, especially in the age of social media, we're just watching and watching and watching and watching all this information, but people have forgotten how to implement. And going to have to implement and just get doors slammed on you, the police called on you, falling off roofs, like all sorts of shit. You do, 100%. Like, there's nothing that beats that. And people forget that's how their brains work.
Yeah.
Like, you could sit there and sit on your ass and like learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. But real learning is doing. That's how your brain and your nervous system shift and change over time.
So how come you didn't end up taking over Sandler?
So I got so interested in that identity side that I wanted to do that exclusively. And so, I just couldn't see myself doing, because at the end of the day, it's a franchise. There's only so much that you can do inside of it. And it just became, I wanted to use the operating systems that Sandler taught for myself and my own companies. I always knew I wanted to have my own company and start my own company. And so I ended up telling Steve, like, hey, dude, like, I appreciate you so much. You helped me so much. Like, and it was full commission too. So it's not as if like, it was a great, like, having to survive and practice at being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Nothing like having your back up against the wall.
24/7, 365. I don't know what that's not like, dude. Like, and so it helped a ton with that. But then I wanted to go, because I got those reps. Like I was doing the action cycle, and I wanted to go do it for myself and really focus on the identity side exclusively with people, and go a little bit deeper in that direction. and add in, I'm very interested in technology and machine learning and AI and all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to bring in more of that as well. So I let Steve know, like, dude, I really appreciate everything you've done for me, but this is not my path. Like, I need to go blaze my own path. Like,
Yeah.
So left there and started, that would have been my first company back then.
Nice. What'd you do? What was the first one? Because remember, this is the Underdog Chronicles, right? So
hell yeah.
we got to talk about the failures
Well,
as well as the wins.
Most of my career so far has been failures.
Okay.
We can definitely get into it. The first thing that I did was something called CBA Neurotech. CBA stands for Conceive, Believe, Achieve. My favorite quote of all times. I have it everywhere. It's every screensaver. It's all over the place. Is whatever my mind can conceive and believe, I can achieve. I say to myself thousands of times a week, probably. And so my holding company for everything has always been CBA, Conceive, Believe, Achieve, LLC. Everything has always been a DBA of that, or doing business as of that.
Yeah.
So the first one was CBA Neurotech, and the vision for it was my ultimate purpose is to create a human AI operating system. Like, I really want to be able to interface.
Like Neuralink or what?
Kind of like Neuralink, but using hardware like Neuralink. But have you ever seen Ready Player One?
I've seen clips.
Okay, so it's like this virtual world kind of.
Yeah.
So more like an operating system that we can interface, that allows us to interface, where you have a Neuralink or whatever, some type of neurotechnology that's connected into your brain, because I think that'll be the fourth layer of our brain, is a neurotechnological layer. But then
what are the other three layers? Are you talking like reptilian brain, amygdala, like stuff like that?
So I'm thinking like brainstem, limbic system, like neocortex, and then the fourth layer would be like, I think will be a technical layer outside of the skull.
So I don't think everybody on here knows as much about the brain as you do. So I like to just
Fair enough. I appreciate it. Slow me down. But the operating system I want to create is one that, if you have that technology and I have that technology, what allows us to interface in ways that we can't. I have to communicate with words with you right now, but imagine if I could, like a Vulcan mind meld.
like telepathy.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like, I would love to be able to figure out those types of, that operating system in between that technology.
Yeah.
And I thought the very first thing that I would ever do as my first entrepreneur would be in that vein. Turns out that made literally no sense and did not work in any way, shape, or form.
Why? What happened?
It was too big of an idea, and I was too new of an entrepreneur to even really know where to start. Like, I had the I had the biological understanding and skills and stuff, but as far as leading a team, finding the right engineers, and I just didn't even know the problem that I was poking myself into, essentially. And there's a lot of other skills and things that I needed to figure out before I could even get there. And so that was barely made it off the starting line, honestly. And we really quickly pivoted into like marketing and websites and kind of doing anything for anyone that needed stuff.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you go from, hey, I'm going to create a Neuralink technology to, hey, let's go build websites?
I got back to the I was reading a book. I forgot the name of the book. Is it One Thing? I can't remember exactly what it was, but I took a second and I looked at, it was Working Genius, I believe. And I was really kind of getting into, everybody kind of has their own working genius. And my technical co-founder at the time, her name was Gwen, was really good at all sorts of stuff. And we needed some basic operating unit of revenue, essentially. I was like, okay, what are some things that we could do? And we could build some website, because we built our own. And other people kind of saw our website and they're like, well, that's cool. How can you do that for us? And we're like, sure. And so we started selling that kind of stuff and some marketing stuff, like SEO and basic stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we just had those minds. Gwen had a more of a, like you're saying, marketing mind. I had the sales mind, and we kind of came together on that and found something to sell and then started selling it, which was kind of the first thing that we did. And then to make revenue. The jump that we really made was, okay, maybe this neurotechnological thing is like a little bit too out there, but the AI piece is not as far out there necessarily. And Gwen was a really good developer and like software developer.
Yeah.
And so we pivoted from to make money doing the websites and like marketing stuff that people might need help with, but then started building our own like data cleaning algorithm and started CBA Intelligence, CBAI for short.
Yeah.
And that was the goal of it. It would be everyone today would understand it because of ChatGPT.
Right.
But
yeah, I was gonna say, when were you doing this? Because this sounds like what, 2019, 2020?
2021.
Okay. Because AI really didn't make it on the scene until what, 22, 23?
Yeah. Like 23, hardcore.
Yeah.
And dead on, like way too early on it to be talking about AI stuff. And it's not like we had ChatGPT before, not at all. We had an algorithm that could clean manufacturing data or data from like machines and stuff. And how did we get to manufacturing? Because we had investors that came from the plumbing industry, and they're like, you could take this algorithm and apply it to machine data and help manufacturing plants understand their machines uptime, downtime, and increase their production and decrease their downtime and rework. And so we're like, okay, cool. And so we pivoted towards that, and we're like, let's go down this. Even though I'm not passionate about manufacturing at all.
Yeah.
Could not give less of a, you know what, don't care.
But you've already cussed. You can keep cussing on the podcast.
Okay, perfect. I never know. Sometimes I forget. But and so we were going down that route and trying that. But again, we were pitching to 70-year-old dudes that own these manufacturing plants that are taking notes on yellow. They're writing that machine data on these yellow notepads. And it's like, dude, trying to pitch them something like this AI thing that no one was really talking about. Just was not working. I didn't know the industry very well. We looked like some kids walking in these manufacturing plants with these gruffy old dudes that we just stuck out like sore thumbs, bro. Like it was terrible, and just couldn't get that off the ground. If we could have gone in and be like, you know how ChatGPT allows you to put your stuff in and then it gives you this stuff, and they're like, we do that except for your manufacturing data. That would have been such an easier pitch. If you brought up ChatGPT,
they're like, who?
It didn't even exist. Well, I mean, I guess GPT-1 probably. It just did not work, and I was not passionate about that industry or that field or what we were doing enough to will it across the finish line. Like it just was not what.
So did you raise capital for the tech company or for the intelligence company?
The intelligence company.
Okay. How much did you raise?
We raised like $500,000 from angel investors.
$500,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
$500K, and burned through that so fast. At the end of that, like I was mentioning, it didn't work. So we had raised money, but it just was not working. We had to, not pretty much. I mean, we had to let go of everybody, which freaking sucks, and move out of our office space and kind of start all the way back over. Like, I think I had like $11 in my bank account. Like,
oh my God.
I remember just laying on the ground in my apartment, like so happy that my best friend, is like an amazing sales executive person, and like if he had to cover rent, he totally could, type of thing. But just having a panic attack, like shit, like what am I about to do? And I had no idea what I was going to do. It sucked, and it's like a huge. I'm sure you feel this too, like because I remember in one of your other podcasts, you were talking about your family's history and like you're kind of doing something way different than what they've ever done and what they're used to. Same here. And so you've got all this, at least I do, have all this pressure on me that's like, I can't fail. My family is expecting me to crush this, and success looks like this. And like you have those thoughts in your head, whether they're true or not, like they start to pop up, and that was screaming very loud at that moment.
Yeah. Okay, so to bring this full circle, lost $500K.
Yes.
Feeling probably like a loser, like a failure.
100%.
How did your Sandler training with the identity and the role play a part? Because a lot of people won't lick their wounds and get back up.
Right.
But here you are, and we can get into the next chapter of the story here in a minute, but dude, I'm a sucker for the Underdog Chronicle, right? So like is this rock bottom for you?
Yeah, without a doubt. I didn't know if we were there was moments where
Because
I was
did you
like, I
have to
don't know
pay
what's
these
gonna
investors back, or were they like, they knew like there was an opportunity to make a lot of money, or there was an opportunity that they were just going to lose whatever they get?
We had one of each. So like they're friends and family, so it's not as if they are like beating down our doors and trying to like kind of come kill us type of thing. But
Don't ever take that money.
right. So yeah, blood money is not good money. But so one of them was more of like a safe note. One was more a convertible note. So one we have to pay back, and I'm still paying back some. And one was just they knew what they were getting into, and it didn't work. So that was on our minds. We were like, because I'm personally liable for these things. Like,
your name is on the line.
My name is on all of these things. And so at the time, I had really no idea what the hell was going to happen. And like credit cards are maxed out. Like, it's just like, holy crap, like this sucks. And licking wounds is like an understatement. And in addition to this, I was in just a toxic relationship that was just not healthy. That was also stressing out and gassing out my nervous system. And so I was just in all angles, just getting punched in the face, which sucked. But the concept I think about a lot is you can get bitter, you can get better. And like in that moment, I was like, dude, there was never a question in my mind, because I just constantly, I never stopped saying whatever my mind can conceive and believe I can achieve. I never stopped saying that. I literally say it hundreds of times a day. And I still kept that habit. And I was just like, okay, what is the next first step? Like when I coach somebody, I suggest that they find the smallest possible thing that gets them forward momentum. What is that? And the throughput had been, and this is how I got connected with Jake, has always been content and creating content. Throughout this all of this story, I have always been making content. I love it. From the second Jake was like, hey, this is what people are kind of doing now, and kind of introduced me to even the concept of putting yourself in front of a camera and just recording, I was like, I like this. I'm down for this. And I've just always done that. And that's how I initially
Wait, you mean
with
the
them.
Extrovert who got a 99.9% likes to make content?
I know. Surprise, surprise. But that had been the throughput for everything.
Okay.
And I had just always been doing that. And I never stopped. And so I was like, well, why have I never looked at that deeper? Like, why have I've never really put my time, effort, attention, and energy there.
And was this like the Gary Vee creating content? Like you were kind of documenting what was going on with the technology, with the intelligence company? Or this was like, hey, you're making content for something completely different?
Not completely different, but like mindset, mental health, like sales, marketing, business, like that type of content.
Okay.
Again, kind of directionless, but I love to learn.
Yeah.
So it's really whatever I was learning and exploring and like diving deeper into, I love to teach.
Yeah.
Teaching is learning a second time. And so I love to teach. And to me, that's what content is. It's a way for me to synthesize information, simplify it for myself, and then go teach it to someone else, which is me learning again. So it's a way for me to, it's funny. Have you heard of love languages?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, so there are autistic love languages as well. And one of them is information sharing. And I read that and I was like, oh boy.
I'm definitely autistic if that's the case.
I'm
sending him stuff all the time. I'm like, yo, check this out.
Dude,
look at this thing.
I know. And
totally unwarranted too, but I've like learned, right? I've had to learn the hard way of like, maybe ask if they want advice before freely dispensing.
100%. That is a key. But I've always loved that, and that's why I love creating content, but I had never really dove deep into it. And so, and I've always loved mental health, emotional health, mindset, like all that kind of stuff. Because I'm really good at that. I'm good at getting deep with people, and I'm not judgmental. And like, so I went and got deeper training in a trauma therapy called internal family systems to add on to my,
what was it called?
Internal family systems.
No, the fancy word for it.
Fancy word?
In trauma therapy?
It's a type of trauma therapy.
Trauma therapy. Okay.
Yeah. It's a therapeutic methodology.
Got it.
Like there's like cognitive behavioral therapy or dialect behavioral therapy, CBT. Those are types of therapy or like methodologies. IFS is another one. Internal family systems, or IFS for short.
Okay.
So I went and got training in that. There's a clinical training you can do if you have a science background, like a neuroscience or psychology degree, and go get trained in it. It's like a year and a half, and I freaking loved it. It just altered the course of my life. Getting trained, learning about internal family systems and IFS and like in that space. So I was doing that, and I was making more content around all sorts of things. Because what essentially, from laying on the ground with panic attacks, it was $0 in my bank account. The next step was $11. You're right. I love 11. My birthday's November 6th, so 11/6 is, I like 11. But the plan was, all right, let's go all in on this content. TikTok had just become a thing, and people were kind of blowing up on TikTok, and we're like, okay, like, we kind of have this mindset around, or this understanding of marketing and algorithms and human behavior and this kind of stuff, which, as you alluded to, I can confirm is very good for making great content. And so we just tested a bunch of different topics. We were like, okay, let's do a week of where we're just putting out mindset videos, and then a week where we're just putting out leadership and sales videos, and then a week where we're doing relationship videos, and a week where we're doing like trauma videos. And just testing. And when we got to the trauma and relationship stuff, it started to explode. Like 100,000 followers in like 3 weeks, and millions of views and all that, like it just was blowing up. And so we're like, okay, cool. Left the other stuff and double tapped on relationships and trauma and psychology and neuroscience and like educating and helping people in that area. At first, it was very heavily in like abusive relationships, toxic relationships, narcissistic abuse, that kind of stuff. And that was kind of the niche that we got into. Blew up to like just under 400,000 followers on like TikTok alone in like 6 months. And that was kind of the first, it was slow and then it was really fast.
Yeah.
Because we were posting.
The hockey stick, right?
Literally. Like I've never seen it, something like that. And we were posting 2, 3, 4 times a day. Like we were just doing everything we could to make that work. And that's where MindBrainBodyLab, what I do now, that's where it all came from, because that's the brand we created at that moment was MindBrainBodyLab. And the rest is kind of history, if you will. Like that's where it all started, and really truly dove into like the creatorpreneur space. And like that's what I like to consider myself as like a creatorpreneur, and like I can educate people and then sell things. Having a personal brand is like next level. Like it is insane when you have that, just a personal brand. Like so many opportunities open up to you. Like I'll never have to have a normal job ever again, because I'll never not have, hey, I have this personal brand. Would you like your thing in front of 1 million people? Okay, cool. Yeah. Like, let's figure something out. Like,
yeah.
So,
well, and dude, crazy story. Just to, with my clients, actually, we're going deep on personal brand, right? I don't have a big personal brand. I have less than 1,100 followers. I have 400 people on my email list, but my personal brand's made more than $1 million in 2 years, right? So we're going deep on personal brand because in my market currently, I work with a lot of tax planners, so they work with entrepreneurs like yourself, help you pay less in taxes, keep more of that in your pocket, right?
Love that.
So right now, there's a huge commoditization going on because 2 years ago, nobody was advertising. Now everyone's seeing, oh, we got to run paid ads, but everybody's using this cookie cutter approach. And maybe 10 people have a personal brand, but the ones who have the personal brand are scooping up a majority of the market. But what people don't realize, this has been around forever. So you look at Nike, okay? Their sales were in a 30% decline. And this young up-and-comer came to the Chicago Bulls and started playing. And at the time, the Chicago Bulls were getting outsold by an indoor soccer team when Michael Jordan came on the team. And this team starts winning, getting recognition locally, nationally, right? They start to become a team, and he's getting all this attention. And so Nike reaches out to him and says, hey, we would love to have your own shoe. And in the first 3 years, do you know how much revenue they thought Michael Jordan was going to produce for them?
No idea.
$3 million over 3 years.
Dude,
Do you know how much they did in their first year?
how much?
$126 million
In the first year?
in the first year.
Damn.
40 times. And that's because
I fucking love Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, believe it or not, he had a personal brand. He had results, he was winning, and he had attention. And in today's day and age, attention is the distribution.
100%.
It's the Oprah Winfrey effect,
100%.
right? Results, she's a great interviewer. Attention, millions of followers. Anytime she brings something on, hey, you guys should go check this out. Boom, explodes.
This concept is something that I feel so many people come to, I want to make content, I want to do this kind of stuff, I want to start being whatever. What you're describing here, I don't want people to miss. Results and attention. Results and attention. Proof beats promise every single time. And so that is something that is missed a lot. So like Michael Jordan got the results, Oprah got the results, Tony Robbins gets the results. Like these people get results, Alex Hormozi gets results, and then gets attention.
Yeah.
That's the part I feel like a lot of people want to skip is how do I get really, really good at getting someone a result?
Yeah.
It sounds like accountants is somebody that you're really good at getting a result for. And now it's like perfect. It's perfect. And if you have accountants, it sounds like that are great at getting their clients results, attention can come next too.
Yep.
But people skip that.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, they think they can skip straight to the attention and distribution. But at the end of the day, you know, the way that I think about it, paid ads, because I do primarily paid ads, right? For myself, I'm very $1 in, $5 out. What's the ROI? Not great at content, but I also have a very small niche. I mean, there's maybe 20,000 tax planners in the United States, right? So the shareability on stuff and getting in front of like wide swaths of audiences, like I'm sure there's a lot more people who think they have a narcissistic spouse as opposed to my ideal audience. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just pay for it, get in front of them. But it's crazy, you know, you need to have the results because paid ads and a personal brand, it's either gonna make it scale faster or fail faster. If you're a shitty human, guess what? People are gonna find out at scale, right? Because all personal branding is automating the trust building process at scale, in my opinion, right? The digitization of your reputation is what Rory Vaden calls it. He's a personal brand guy. And so if you're a shitty human or you got a shitty product, it's just gonna accelerate the rate at which other people find out about it, you know? Remind me to tell you about the Disney story tonight when we're getting cigars.
Okay.
But not to get too sidetracked, but when you were talking about your origin story, I totally wanted to say, dude, your origin story reminds me of Tony Robbins.
Hey.
When he was taking what he learned at his NLP classes, going across the street to help people, and they were like, no, you can't do that. And then they kicked him out of the certification, but it sounds like your professors actually wanted you to like take what you're learning and go out there and apply it. So
Well,
kudos, man.
IFS, I'm in similar hot water sometimes with the IFS Institute as he was with, I love Tony Robbins. I've read every one of his books. The only thing I haven't done is met the dude yet. Like,
Have you gone to his conferences?
No, I want to. I'm trying to firewalk. I'm trying to do the whole thing.
Bro, let's go. I haven't been either. I
haven't been.
I've seen him live.
Okay, I have not yet.
Yeah, let's go.
But I love all his stuff. I had a Tony Robbins coach for a while. Like, so.
Jordan, you down?
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, it's life-changing. Because the stuff that he does at
Quality
scale.
of life, man.
Dude, the stuff he does
That's
at
his
scale.
personal
is
brand,
inspiring.
right?
Literally. Like, and he's in multiple, he's got a portfolio of like 300 companies that he invests in and like there's all this stuff. And that is somebody I model.
You know what his fuel is though? What fuels all the companies?
What's that?
His personal brand.
Oh yeah, for
Why?
Sure. 100%.
Because he has the attention.
Yeah.
And once you capture the attention, it's one thing to get the attention, but then to be able to nurture and actually convert the attention is a whole different beast. As I'm
100%.
sure you are well aware.
Dude, that has been the most recent underdog story that I've undergone is like, once you have the followers and the attention, it's like we're both tall, right? How many times did you ever play basketball or a sport or anything?
Martial arts, yeah. I
Martial
punch
arts.
people in the face with my length.
Perfect, I love that. I dunk on them. So, but something that I hear all the time is, if I was as tall as you, I could dunk easy. And I was like, sure, dude. And it's always like, whatever.
I can't even dunk and I'm tall.
Bro, you can definitely dunk.
Nah.
There's no way you can't dunk.
I can touch a rim, but I can't dunk.
Regardless, they're always saying some shit like that. And it's just so different when you have this attention and stuff, and then knowing what to do with it is, so people are like, oh, if I had that many followers, I would be making millions of dollars. But I promise you, I know I have tons of peers in the creator space that have millions of followers that are like working 9-to-5 jobs that don't have.
I probably make more than them, but I have
Probably.
1,100 followers.
Right.
But I got a rich niche.
Right. Well, and that's the thing that they don't understand is that creators are traditionally not entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Or that's business owners maybe, or they don't have that mindset of selling necessarily.
Yeah.
They can create, but
They
they're
think
not.
build it and they will come.
Right. And it just doesn't work that way. And I knew that from the sales side and such. And so I've always been testing different things that work, or different things I could sell. Like, is it digital products? Is it brand deals? And so I think it was 23 to 24, did 6 figures in brand deals, which was awesome. And
Yeah, because you guys did some stuff with supplements, right?
do supplements. We did.
Because you guys ran a few retargeting ads, if I recall correctly, right? They partnered with you guys and then ran ads to your account.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw you like popping up, and that's when you came back on my radar. Was when you were doing the supplement stuff.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So we did that for a long time for brands because we had this concept of like, they were just bigger ticket things that we were selling. A brand has more money. This is what the mindset was, or the thought was. So let's go and do brand deals. And so we were kind of doing that. It was me and then Chloe. Chloe goes in where she's like the girl version of me.
Is she the one in your videos?
That's CJ. She's our brand director. She helps with all of like the creative direction and stuff.
Yeah.
Love her to death, but she's behind the scenes. Chloe is another creator like me. She's a chemical engineer and works on nervous system regulation, specifically with women with ADHD. And so it's her and I's brands essentially. And we were doing a lot of brand work and like, let's film this ad and do this and all this stuff. The hardest part was though, when you're doing that, it's agency work essentially. It's always a new thing. And I have a creative flow on idea all the way through posted content, but these brands have their own thoughts and ideas and their brand and their colors and all, and then you can't say this and you can't say that and all of this stuff. Yeah. And every brand, every time you do a new brand deal, it's all of that stuff that you have to figure out again and start from zero over and over and over. And then it's not consistent. They don't like this thing and it's crazy. And they don't have a creator mindset. They have they have this mindset of traditional marketing, like billboard marketing, where it's informational as opposed to like educational and offering value.
Sure.
And they don't understand.
It's brand advertising where it's focused on here's who we are, here's what we do, buy our stuff, as opposed to here's your problem, here's what you're going through, here's your solution. Trusted advisor, service provider, commodity, big brand.
100%. And that's the mindset that we're constantly fighting against. And they want us they want both things, but it's impossible for us to deliver because it's just different. And what they really need, and what I firmly believe every founder should build a personal brand and like build in public and post content. And it's never been easier. FaceTime content is blowing up right now. It has literally never been easier to do that. That's a whole different sidebar. Brands wanted us to essentially be the face of their brand, but could only pay, to get the results that they want, we need to be posting 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Yeah.
But they can only afford for us to post a few times a week. And then they're like, well, why is our account not growing? Why are we not getting more? And it's like, because dude, I'm posting 2 or 3 times. I'm using trial reels. I'm doing all of this extra stuff that you're not paying attention to. I'm testing different hooks. I'm doing all these different things. So by the time something goes viral, I already know that it's going to happen because I'm testing so much. But I can't do that for $2,000-$3,000.
And you weren't getting any upside?
On what? Oh, like affiliate links and things like that. Some, but again, a lot of what they wanted us to do was organic content.
Yeah.
And so the conversion rate is like not good.
Yeah.
The next step was specifically helping them with ad creative. So we would shoot the ad creative and then they'd use our affiliate link on their buy button essentially.
Yeah.
And that helped us, and that has continued to help us a little bit. But it's still just like never ending. It sucked. And it's not really, it's all these other brands that have their missions and their purpose and stuff, but it's not really what we care about. Yeah. And so Q4 of last year, 2025, we literally had we could pay ourselves one more time. I was on the knife's edge again, my friend. And we had this moment where we were like, all right, we can either choose to, we have a month of runway, we can either choose to go the brand route and go all in on that and be more like an agency type thing, or we can double down on our own personal brands, our own digital products, our own services, create our programs, and go that route.
And this was Q4 like last month?
Literally, yes.
Okay.
The beginning of Q4 though.
Okay,
so not
like,
at the end.
October, November.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was, I think, October, November, December. Yeah, it was right at the end of November, right after Thanksgiving, essentially. We could pay ourselves for sure in October, and like that's where we were kind of at. And I remember I got the team. I work with mostly women, and actually my entire team is women. Like it's only women. They're badasses. But I was like, all right, ladies, here's where we're at. Like this is the fork in the road. And we all chose to like quadruple down on our personal brands and really scale that up. And so the first one that we did was Chloe. She was blowing up in the ADHD space. And we're like, okay, let's structure a program that they can go through, which is neuromagnetic, is what it's called now. Mm-hmm. That's 60-day program. We can sell it for 2, 3, 4K, and we want to get at least, to cover our asses, we need to get at least, I think it was like 6 people, bare minimum, out of the 800,000 people that follow her. Like, we're like, I think we could do this. And so it was kind of an underdog moment, but we also were pretty confident, like if we just turned all of everything we have been doing for brands on just ourselves, it could work. And so I think we spent like $1,500 on literal ads and ended up making like 30 or 40K.
Oh, let's go.
And it's just like, because the beautiful thing when you have organic content is she was posting stuff, the most viral organic content we retooled for ads, which dropped our costs on ads, and it just is this beautiful system because we can test our creative live with our audience and then use the best performing stuff for our ads and what works best on our stories. For like static ads, we can post on our stories and test the ad there, and then put spend towards it as in Meta or like the business platform, and it worked beautifully. And we were like, what the hell just happened? This is amazing, and it worked. And then now we did that for me. My program is called Becoming Her, helping women after heartbreak, discard, that kind of stuff, some type of heartbreak, getting them ready to date again, and like undoing all the baggage and stuff in between, which is the perfect blend of like neuroscience and the trauma therapy I'm trained in. And same thing, we just took what we learned from Chloe's program and applied it to mine because I have a similar audience, or not a similar audience, but we're both creators. My niche is just different. And it's just been blowing up. And now we're on track to do like $500,000 this year in revenue coming from, I think we did like 126K last year with brand deal stuff. And it's just like, holy shit, dude. Like, I cannot believe we were this close to like everything we were looking for if we just bet on ourselves as opposed to doing all this stuff for brands. Like, drives me crazy, but we got there eventually.
So how did you get into MindBrainBodyLab?
The first relationship I had, well, rewind. I had a relationship in college that she cheated on me, which that sucked, and that ended. Then I had like a pretty overtly like toxic relationship that was just mentally and emotionally traumatic, and even physically. Like, I'm a big guy, but I was getting like pushed and hit and stuff, and like it didn't hurt me in like the physical sense, but what it does to your nervous system is weird. Because I'm huge. There's not many situations that I feel like I'm in physical danger. And there's just a lot of energy in a basketball game where I guess you probably have even more familiar because you're a fighter. Like, you probably even
got people
more
trying to punch me in the face, dude.
all the time, right? So that there's something that there's energy that explodes out from you to like go back on the offensive that you have to shove down because it's this little tiny human in front of you that I'm not. If it was another dude hitting me, I'm like, all right, dude, I'm gonna hit you back. But it was weird. And so there was that relationship. Then and so that was the catalyst for the initial content and working on abusive relationships, trauma, like how that affects your nervous system. That was always interesting to me from personal experience. Then in college, I got 3 concussions playing basketball, and I started studying what physical trauma does to the brain, and I also experienced, because I had concussions. Like if I had a concussion right now, you'd have no idea, right? But if I hurt my leg or something, I have a cast or I have crutches, you like kind of know. And so I'm sitting on the bench as a college athlete, benched, and everyone's kind of looking at me like, do you just suck? Like what happened? Like you were starting and now you're not, and I look fine, but they have no idea, like I'm puking every single night. I can't sleep through the night. I can't even look at the PowerPoints and stuff. And it's just like, physically what was happening in my brain was terrible. And then the mental and emotional side was horrible as well.
Yeah.
And so studying the neuroscience, the endocrinology, the immune stuff that was going on in my brain and in the nervous system of someone going through different types of trauma, mentally and emotionally, all the way back to what I studied in college. I've been interested in that and have a lot of knowledge and research around that I've done around that. Plus then the relationship, which I just dove deeper into what the mental and emotional side can do to your brain, which looks very similar to when you have physical brain trauma, which is kind of mind-blowing to people. Yeah. Neuroscientists don't separate the mind, the brain, and the body, but most people think of their mind, their brain, and their body as separate, but they're really not separate things. Like they are the same thing. Like if you are physically ill for long enough, what happens? You get more anxious, you get more depressed. So the physical thing affects the mental thing. So that's one clue. And if you're mentally ill for long enough, what starts to happen? Your physical body starts to degrade as well, right?
And on the flip side, dude, I mean, we've been having a killer month so far. You know, I just brought on a COO, so I'm like able to focus 100% on marketing, sales, which is like what I'm good at. And I like feel like I'm winning. And I'm like, dude, if I took a testosterone test right now, I bet I'm like freaking 3 times the amount that I usually am. 100%. And I'm like, when I'm like lifting right now and I'm like lifting more weight than usual. And I'm like, damn, dude, like you win in one area, you start to win in all the areas.
100%. And so that's how your mind, your brain, your body kind of interoperate with one another as well. And that's stuff that I love to help people kind of understand. And so, it ended up being really, really, that's where I kind of got zoned in on like relationships and trauma and that kind of stuff, especially with women, it turns out. Like it just ends up being 70% of social media users are women in general, en masse, especially on Instagram. And it just turned out that over 90% of the people that were interested in the content I was making was women. And so some of my initial clients, women. And so then I started to, as any good business owner does, I'm getting referrals. And most of the time, women are referring me to friends and family and things who are other women. And so, which kind of started the feedback loop. Because from sales, because that's the other thing, creators who don't know how to sell don't understand is how much better their content could get if they start to sell. It's insane how much data you can learn from that. Because as I'm working with women, like in like a coaching and therapy setting and working with them and listening to them and then selling to them, I'm learning more about their problems, the things they're running up against.
It's an echo chamber for your marketing.
And creating more content and way better content. Because people DM me now and they're like, how do you know me?
Yeah. Are you reading my diary, Cody?
Literally. I've had people verbatim say that to me.
Yeah.
In like my DMs are wild. And it's nuts. And so it just turned into this thing where I was like, I initially started working with some women and then learned a ton about what they're running into and things like that. And a lot of the women I was working with wanted a guy's perspective anyways and felt more comfortable with a guy. They were with female therapists and stuff like that. And it just they weren't getting the results necessarily they were looking for. And that's just what they were looking for. Or my angle, very science heavy. Like when I work with people, it's not like kumbaya on the forest, let's touch grass. Like I'm very scientific about how I approach. I use biometric devices to measure each of my clients. Whoop gang, let's go.
I just got that strap too, the sport one.
Dude, it's so much better. The cloth ones start to smell.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Mine's like bronze.
Yeah, so. Dude, that happened to me too. It's freaking gross. Like basketball, CrossFit, like all these things just make this, it's terrible. Yeah. This one smells.
I'm not going to smell it, but I'll take your word for it.
I'm telling you, dude, it smells amazing. But I measure all of my clients using Whoop devices, biometric devices, whatever, their mental and emotional health, to have an objective measurement of their mental and emotional health and how they objectively get better over time, as opposed to the therapy industrial complex, which gets you in therapy and then you're in it forever. And it's like, oh, no end game, no objective measurement. Just take this survey every once in a while. It's like, what the hell? Like, again, my background is neuroscience.
Yeah.
And your nervous system is throughout there is a nerve for every cell of your body. Like, just think about that for a second. Like,
Yeah.
And so we can get data on mental and emotional health. We just don't. I do. And so these women ended up liking that, and that worked for them, and they wanted something different. And that started the feedback loop. And now 93% of our audience is women, and 97% of my clients are women. I work with some guys. 2026, I'm creating Becoming Him, working on like what is healthy masculinity and like what does that look like, and helping guys with the stuff I help women with, because I'm getting so many more men reaching out to me saying, dude, I'm going through a breakup. I'm going through heartbreak. I want to operate within. Yeah. I want to get better results.
Dude, I just had a breakup 4 months ago. I finished up. So put me on the wait list, man, for when it drops.
I got you, dude.
But to your point, I mean, we went to 2 different couples therapy. One was a Christianity-based one, because that's what she wanted to do. We ended up schedules didn't work out after a while, and so we found another guy who I think he did CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. But what I hated about it, because we did couples therapy, but we also individually saw him one-on-one.
Oh, nice.
So like one week it would be us there together. The next week I would go on Tuesday, she would go on Thursday. Okay. I hated 2 things.
2 things.
First, there was never any objective measurement.
Oh my God, yeah. Drives me crazy.
Right? But then the second thing that I hated is that, you go in and they just ask questions the whole time and write their notes. And I would never get any direct feedback.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, you went to school for how long? Like, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Right? And so literally one of the last sessions I had with him, I was like, we'll just call him Gordon. Not his real name, but Gordon. I'm like, this is the last 5 minutes of the session. And I go, Gordon, if I was not your patient and I was your best friend going through the exact same thing, what would you tell him? And he told me what he could have told me in 10 minutes of the first session after like 6 months of going to him. And I'm like, okay, that's what I need to know. Thank you. It could have been done in 1 session as opposed to 6 months, right? Like, I'm glad we have this relationship, but all right, I know what I need to do.
100%.
So
that's the crux for traditional therapy struggles. Okay, this is going to blow your mind. There's all of this data. There's all of like science, and there's all of these things that has more data on men than women. And there's a big, huge discrepancy in data that we have on men versus women because of how like society has been structured, where men are more like dominant and the patriarchy, all the stuff, right? The one area where there is less data, research on men than women is mental health. So therapy, a lot of the research that therapy and outcomes on therapy is based around outcomes that are best for women. If you think about evolutionarily, guys were out running around, hunting, doing the thing.
Have you read Evolutionary Psychology by David Buss?
No idea.
I'm going to put you on some game.
All right,
if you love the science, dude, you will love Evolutionary Psychology.
Well, I mean, I've studied evolutionary psychology from like a college standpoint.
So David Buss was like the originator of evolutionary psychology.
Oh, perfect. Dude, there's no way I haven't seen his stuff then.
Yeah, I bet you have.
But because I take most things back to there. And if you look at how men and women way back in the day, because our DNA has not changed much since we were cavemen and women. People think it's like, oh, we've changed so much, but
yeah. I was at the dentist today, by the way, for Nixon, my 3.5-year-old, and apparently our mouths are getting smaller. Total side note, but
there we go.
There's that changing.
Small things, dude. I'd love to hear that. But when you look at women sat across from fires and talked to each other face to face, type of thing. Men were out and around hunting, jumping, crawling, like doing whatever. And so the traditional therapy model where you're sitting across from someone and just talking, listening, understanding, validating, asking questions, that kind of stuff, awesome for women. For men, oftentimes they want to be shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And when I am teaching women how to interface with men all the time. And one of the things I talk to them about is like, if you want to have a challenging conversation or really get someplace, get him moving and get shoulder to shoulder with him. And the number of times that women are like, we were just in the car, he's driving and he got deeper than he's ever gotten with me. What the hell? Like, I took him on a walk and all of a sudden we're going into his childhood and like, but if I'm sitting there in front of him while we're in the living room, like stone cold.
Yeah. Tony talks about that in his sales program. Female, you want to sit across. And, well, kind of like what we're doing now. Jordan, did you do this on purpose? Did you angle this on purpose? Okay. Because all the other times we've been facing straight on, and I noticed this one was angled today. Shoulder to shoulder. I mean, we're not completely, but yeah, Tony talks about that. He's like, if you're a male, you want to go side to side when you're in the sales conversation.
Yeah, it's helpful. And so traditional therapy and the research around it is more angled towards what works best for women, because most therapists are women, and most people who seek therapy and go to therapy traditional therapy are women. And so it's just like, damn, I hear this all the time from guys. I get this a ton. So Becoming Him, I started, Sam's actually a part of it. It's a group of 12 guys. It's the first kind of at bat I'm going to go at
Beta group.
Yeah, essentially. And it's really about accountability. It's doing things. It's being there for each other. Like it's a different angle than what I do with women in groups and sitting across from them and things like that. It's just a little bit different, and I think that's okay. I don't think that's a bad thing personally. I think it's okay that we are different. If I could summarize the thousands of hours that I have sat with women and the struggles that they have with men, the sentence that would help them most is just reminding them that men are not hairy women. Like, we are not hairy women, and that would help them understand and empathize and understand the struggle that, like, 99.999% of the time, they are expecting a man to respond and think and be like a woman, like the perfect woman, not just a woman, the perfect woman. And we are not hairy women. Like, that's not it.
Did you come up with that quote?
No, that's from Alison Armstrong. She's her family. She's a woman who teaches other women about men, but her family for 50 or 500 years or something like that has studied men.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get the binoculars out and just...
It's not. She has some
Dude,
really good
that's
books.
such a good concept, though. It's the first time I've ever heard that.
Dude, I'm telling you, it helps my clients a ton, and like just understanding that. A super easy example is that men have single focus, women have disperse.
Yeah.
Disparate awareness. And so for a woman, she is can do a bunch of different things and has a bunch of different stuff on her mind, and she is more likely to get overwhelmed. Whereas a man is going to be doing one single thing and gets frustrated when it doesn't work. Women get overwhelmed, men get frustrated. Women oftentimes in a household, if there's a sock on the floor and the trash isn't out, those things are screaming at them. You're not good enough. You're bad. This household is crappy, which reflects poorly on you as a person. And every one of those things, there's like a bunch of things that are yelling at them. We have single focus though. And so we walk over the sock because we're listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
And we're focused on the podcast. And the sock is not yelling at me. But when you yell at your partner, like, why didn't you pick up your socks? Why didn't you take out the trash? Didn't you notice this? Legitimately, he didn't notice. His brain is washed in testosterone, and women have progesterone and estrogen and all of these different neurohormones that give them this disparate awareness that's different than us. And I mean, we are not hairy women. Like, it's just not, it's on a neurochemical level.
It's like men are from Mars, and what is it? Men are from Venus, women are from Mars, whatever it is.
Something like that.
But yeah, similar concept. Not necessarily the way that you're talking about with all the chemical side of things and like how it works with the brain, but like one of his things, for example, is like men want to go and be alone when they get frustrated, and women want to talk it out.
Right.
You know?
It's interesting because some of that turns into attachment style too, and there's like this blending of these concepts, like, because then there's like masculine and feminine energy, and that's a whole conversation these days as well. And what I see a lot is we got like wimpy men and rigid women, and neither
Boss babe.
right, which they're in their masculine, they've been socialized to be in this, like, and when I say masculine and feminine, I don't gender those energies.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking a man is masculine and a woman is feminine.
Yeah.
We both, men and women, have masculine and feminine energy in us. And there's not really an operating system for people to operate within and how to embody either of those things well. And we've been socialized different now, and more women are financially free and successful and boss babes and all the awesome stuff. Love that. Here for it. And then, because my literal exact audience, the person I work with perfectly, is doctors, lawyers, CEOs, hyper independent, hyper ambitious women who are either still single and they're like, what the hell? How am I in my late 30s and still single?
Yeah, because that biological clock's ticking on.
And it freaks them
having
out.
the kids.
For real.
100%.
Or they're 40s and 50s out of their marriage, and they got divorced, and now they're single again, and they're like, I want to be in my feminine. I want to not have to lead in my personal relationship. And there's this weird discrepancy between being the boss babe at work and crushing it and being their masculine. But a lot of them, the ones that come to me at least, I'm not saying this is all of them, but the ones that come to me are saying, I want to be able to drop into my feminine. And that makes sense to me. Because if you think of, we all have a core, more of a masculine core or a feminine core. And if you're operating in your core, it's as if your phone is plugged into a charger. You can go forever.
It's like an introvert going and relaxing versus an extrovert who needs to get
Very similar.
energy from being around people.
Right. And so when you're operating outside of your core, like if a woman who has a feminine core and wants to be more feminine is operating in her masculine all day, what she wants more than anything is to be able to come plug her phone back in at the end of the day and be in her feminine and not have to think about things and not have to like do things and like decide things. Which it's opposite for men, right? Men, if you have a masculine core, if you're out crushing things, then you're okay still being in that masculine in a relationship. But oftentimes a woman who is in their masculine doesn't know how to drop into her feminine. And guys today are being shown they're being shown more what masculinity shouldn't be than being shown what it could be and what it can be. And they have no frameworks or how to be without being dominant in like some weird like form of masculinity that's just like top-down control. That's not what masculinity is. Healthy masculine, in my opinion, is being able to create structure, clarity, direction, structure, and it's like the riverbed, right? Masculine energy is like a riverbed. Feminine energy is like the river. Some days it's a flash flood. Other days it's trickling. Some days it's nice and serene. Some days there's a drought, right?
Yeah.
It's all, which is beautiful. Love that. The healthy container and structure is one aspect of healthy masculinity. The other aspect is creating safety financially, physically, and emotionally, and then responding instead of reacting, having a grounded nervous system to allow for co-regulation and things like that. And if more men could do that, it would allow the container for women to be more feminine and kind of blend together well. But neither group has a framework to do this.
What are your thoughts on the modernization of mankind and the effect on that? Because back in the day, just to your point, right? The boys would go and hunt with the men, or the boys would go and farm with the men.
Bro.
And the girls would stay home with the mom, and that's where they were able to learn and pass down that masculine and feminine energy. Well, with the modern, what do they call it? What was the transitionary period?
Between
Farmland and everybody moving to the cities.
Industrialization.
So the Industrial Revolution, kids are getting into school now, right? They're all learning the same things. They're not with their parents. Mom's going to work now. She's taking on, especially when the war, right? All the guys left and the women had to go and work, right? So what do you think the impact of the modern school system and industrialization, how do you feel like it's impacted the masculine and feminine energy?
I mean, it's not just a school system, and specifically World War II, especially. Men were not just away. Women then, two things happened. Women were, during that time, having to go do those more masculine things, and women power, and I can do it, and all this stuff, and that's amazing. I'm here for that, which is great. And then, after the war as well, there was a humongous migration from rural to city centers.
Right.
And that was another, what you were describing earlier, where guys, young men being around other men, they were learning masculinity from their grandfather and their dad, and they were around other guys learning masculinity from other men. When we moved into city centers, guys would go work at factories all day, and their sons predominantly now are being raised by women. Their teachers are women, their nurses are women, their therapists are women, right? And so they are learning this feminized version of masculinity in a way, which is not through experience, it's through a woman trying to explain what she needs and wants, but we just talked about them being the river.
Yeah.
So one day she's talking about one thing, and it's not, they're not learning it through osmosis anymore, right? They're trying to be taught, and
Because by the time the dad gets home from the factory, he's freaking...
He's exhausted, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have the energy to be dad, right? He wants to sit down with his beer in front of the TV, relax.
Right. So you got a whole generation of guys that are, I say wimpy in a very loving way, but...
well, yeah, it's like the whole thing of like, what is it? Tough times make hard men make good times make soft men make hard times, and it's a loop.
Yes.
Right?
I love that book. Yes. Couldn't agree more. And it is an issue, like a big issue, like especially with guys, like struggling with these things. And then you've got women that are coming at them like, oh, I don't like guys, and emasculating guys in these ways that they barely even realize or recognize that they're doing. And both sides are kind of standing back to back with their arms crossed at each other, like pissed off at one another. And men are like, oh, well, women are just so masculine these days. And women are just like, well, guys don't lead. And no one is really, no one has a framework for meeting in the middle on these things. And getting
never been taught,
want.
right? I mean, look at how they grew up.
Right, exactly.
You know?
And so
mine's different too. So with your IFS, right? I had 2 moms growing up, as I'm sure you gathered from the other podcasts. Yeah. So I'd be curious, maybe we can talk about it tonight at Cigars. I mean, unless you want to talk about it right now, but I'd be curious on your view on how that impacts masculinity. And
I'm a big person on lived experience. I mean, I don't know experience. Like, if the question would be, did you have male role models? Did you have mentors? Did you 100%. Have coaches? Did you have like things like that? If you do, great.
That's why my mom got me in martial arts. I had 2 left feet, couldn't focus on shit. I was like a jackrabbit looking all over. But then third, wanted me to be around male role models. That's also why I spent so much time with my grandpa.
Perfect. Okay. So that's beautiful, right? Whereas if you are, it's completely different if you're isolated and only around your moms totally forever, right? Like, so it's different. I'd be curious to hear from you on how you believe it's shifted and changed I bet you have a better understanding of women and what they need and what they want in their cycles and all of the different things that they go through and such.
I don't know, man. My mom was like a high achiever.
Fair.
Corporate.
Did she ever...
Wanted to strive for the promotion.
Got it.
Did she ever what?
Did she ever like relax down and have more of that feminine like softness?
Bro, when she got home, she was working.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so...
That's like my, we'll call her the masculine energy mother, right?
Perfect.
The feminine energy mother was the one who picked us up from school, brought us home, spent time with us, took us to the activities that we were doing, you know? But yeah, and you know, weekends, I mean, masculine energy mom, we'll call her, right? She would go to the activities with us, right? But a lot of the time when she got home, it was dinner, and then she's going to the back room to work.
Nice.
You know?
I'm curious if she if that's her core. Like, because there are women who prefer to be more in the masculine.
Yeah.
All for that. Cool, go for it, I don't care. And that's their core, and they get energy from that. So I'm curious if that was her core, or if like she was doing that to help you guys survive. Like,
I think from the parenting aspect, she has a masculine core because she carried us, okay? But from the relationship, I think she actually had the feminine core. And my other mom had the masculine core.
Interesting.
But from the parenting side, I think she was the masculine.
It's beautiful. I love it. Family systems are interesting.
Yeah.
IFS looks at people as parts as well. It's like a huge... big different thing that people that's the big thing that's different about IFS from traditional therapy models. It would never say that Daniel is anxious. It would say a part of Daniel is anxious, or a part of Cody is a pleaser.
Removing it from the identity.
Exactly, which is why, surprise, surprise, I love it so much. Because it's so identity focused, and becoming her and becoming him are both, him and her are identities. And the first thing I do with all of my clients is help them craft this new identity. Who are they becoming? I think it's a really powerful question. People don't ask themselves enough. Who am I becoming? Like, because your identity is the biggest predictor of your feelings, your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs, neurologically.
Yeah.
Your brain is constantly asking, what would Daniel do? What would Daniel do? What would Cody do? What would Cody do? 100,000 times a day. And that's how because your brain is predictive. Like, it is not, I feel like people think that the brain is so much different than it is, because like it is predicting your world and creating your reality, like fundamentally.
Pain and pleasure, baby.
And people don't understand, I don't think people quite understand how the brain does that, or how, like even like when you see something, there's more data coming from your brain to your eyes than from your eyes to your brain. What's really happening is you've been sitting here the whole time. My brain has created a predictive model that is predicting you to be sitting in that chair. If my eyes came to the chair and you weren't there for a split second, my eyes would update my brain's model. Daniel's not in the chair anymore. And my brain would then start to predict you in that chair again. But there is more data going from my brain to my eyes. So my brain is telling my eyes what to see and what to expect. And if you look at research around this is why our expectations are so powerful. Because they create a reality. And so there's research out of the Netherlands that had people go into a lab, and in the lab they had white noise playing. And they asked all the participants, anytime you hear the song A White Christmas in the white noise, press this red button. 2/3 of all of the participants pressed the white button or the red button at an over 90% confidence level, even though the song never played ever. Not a single time in the white noise. It was never there. But their expectation that it was there created it. And that is how powerful your brain is and how powerful your expectations are. And so people do not think about that. And your identity is the biggest expectation you have. 24/7, 365, your identity is who your brain expects you to be. And so that's why it is so powerful and why it drives your feelings, thoughts, actions, behavior, all of these things so powerfully. And then what shapes your identity the most is your environment, which is why the people you're around.
And the beliefs and convictions.
Right. Shifts your identity, and then your identity expects your reality.
Have you ever heard be, do, have?
Oh yeah. I talk about this with my clients all the time. We are human doings more than we have ever been. We need to be human beings. People do it backwards. 100% agree.
I use that analogy a lot with my clients, right? You can't have the stuff until you're the person. Well, have you ever heard the Charlie Munger quote?
Which one? That's a loaded question. There's so many Charlie Munger quotes.
In order to get the things you want, you have to raise your standards so you can be the person who deserves the things that you want.
Hell yeah.
Right? Not word for word, but
no, I love that.
Yeah, you gotta be the person to be deserving, right? 100%. If you don't deserve it, you're not gonna fucking get it, right? And if you do get it, like a lot of jackpot winners, you're not gonna keep it. Right. Because your identity doesn't match that of the person who
100%
needs to keep it. So speaking of identity, right? Underdog Chronicles, we got some people listening right now who are on top of their game, killing it. They're gonna have the best year yet in their business, people like you. And then we got other people who it's like, dude, I'm laying on my roommate's floor with $11 in my bank account, right? What are you saying to the underdog that's listening? Based on what you've been through, what would you tell that person?
I would ask them, who are they becoming? Who do you want to become? I mean, I would not. Telling people things in the thousands of hours I've worked with people has never worked. Asking them questions to help them get into action generally works. But I would ask them, who are you trying to become? And then what's the first tiniest step that you could take to get there? I've worked with a lady who was 300 pounds overweight, or was she 300 pounds? No, she was 300 pounds. So like 200 and something pounds overweight. And I was like, well, who do you want to become? Like, who are you trying to become? She's like, I want to be healthy. I want to live long. I'm going to be a great grandmother for my kids. And I was like, okay, beautiful. What would she do? And what would that kind of person do? And she's like, she would get into shape. I was like, okay, perfect. Like, what's the first smallest action you could take towards getting like in shape? And she had been with exercise scientists, or like trainers and nutritionists and all these people who were giving her all these things to work on, 45-minute workouts every day and all this stuff, and none of it worked for her. And she's like, well, she'd start to work out. I was like, okay, cool. What's the smallest possible step you could start to do to get yourself into action? Because action creates motivation. Because your brain predicts motivation through action, right? It's predictive. It's not motivation and then action. Like, it's action creates motivation. And so in our first session, I suggested she starts doing 1 push-up a day. And she almost slapped me because she's like, she thought I was making fun of her. And she's like, freaking 1 push-up a day. And she was like all mad. I was like, I trust me on this. Like, for the next 7 days between sessions, just do 1 push-up a day. And she's like, yeah, fine, I will. The week goes by, she comes back next week, and I was like, how'd it go? Did you do your push-ups? And she's like, all arms crossed. She's like, yeah, I did my freaking 1 push-up a day. And I was like, when was the last time that you said you were going to do something and then followed through on it every single day, consistently? Whenever have you been that kind of person? And she's like, and it like all hit her at once. And she's like, was crying and everything. And she's like, never. Like, I don't think I've ever done that. And I was like, okay, you just did. How did that feel? Is that the kind of person you want to become? And she's like, 100%. And from that moment forward, like, it was game. Like, we kept it small, but it was building her self-confidence and building up that I side that we were talking about.
Reaffirming
her identity.
that identity.
100%. In small little tiny ways, to where she lost the weight and is now, blood pressure is better, body fat percentage is down. She's no longer pre-diabetic. Like, this was like way in the beginning when I started working. I was kind of working with anybody, but that was huge. And so if someone's laying on the ground, I would literally ask them, who are you trying to become? Just like I asked her. And then what is the smallest, tiniest, littlest action that you could take consistently that would allow you to affirm that identity and prove that identity to your brain, so that it can start to predict a different type of thing and you can start a positive cycle going up, because they're on the downward trajectory. They need to start getting the flywheel spinning upwards.
Dude, this has been awesome. This has been so educational for me. So if someone's watching right now, they want to learn more, follow you, whether they're interested in becoming her or becoming him, where can they follow you?
MindBrainBodyLab everywhere. Like, every social media, it's MindBrainBodyLab, and then the website is mindbrainbodylab.com.
Awesome.
I know you're a domain guy. I got that one before you.
Thanks so much, man. I'm excited for cigars tonight.
Yeah, me too,
This has been
man.
great.
Yeah, it was a good time.